First of all, I'd like to say thank you, sir, for allowing us to have a piece of you today. Thank you.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure having you.
I'd like us to start off our conversation with set tour of the prisons. What do you want ordinary Ghanaians to do after watching this?
Well, I want Ghanaians to spare a thought for our unfortunate brothers and sisters who find themselves in prison. I want Ghanaians to realize that they are not outcasts simply because they are in prisons. They are still Ghanaians. They have committed offenses. We've sent them there with the hope that they'll come out reformed. But some people have that thinking that once you have committed an offense, you can go and harm. And I think that is wrong.
4 years, no police station, no court. Why? I don't know. Since my CI bring us for here, we no come back.
That documentary is something that should tell us that all is not well with our prisons and that something needs to be done about it. I've visited a number of prisons, and one day I had the opportunity to talk to the prison officers, and I told them, look, they should treat the prisoners as human beings. They should treat them as human beings because they are not going to remain there indefinitely.
Yeah, but how do you treat them as human beings when the place is overcrowded?
Well, that is why we are decongesting by transferring people from the overcrowded prisons to the less crowded prisons. That is one thing you can do. That's what we are doing now. The second thing will be the introduction of the non-custodial sentence. If we are able to introduce that thing, and people who commit minor offenses are asked to go and do community service instead of spending 2-3 years in prison, we'll be decongesting our prisons. So these are some of the things that we are doing. We are also hoping that as and when we get money, we'll either expand some of the existing prisons or put up new prisons. Say, for example, Kumasi. Kumasi prison, we think that if we get money, we would want to put up a modern prison in Kumasi. Yeah.
Has the Justice for All program failed us?
It hasn't failed. Justice for All, I think they are doing a fantastic job. Just that they also have constraints like any other institution. One of these days I'm going to have a meeting with them and possibly discuss ways of assisting them in the execution of their assignments. For example, last year, I understand they were in the Ashanti Region, Kumasi to be precise, to look at people who are on remand, study their cases, and in the process, I'm told about 50 of them were released, were made to go. We're going to encourage them. We're going to support them to go around all the prisons in this country and review the cases of people, especially those who are on remand. People are sent on remand and they tend to forget about them. People are there 5, 6, 7 years without justice. And you and I will say justice delayed is justice denied. What an irony. Yeah. So I think that we need to do something about this. Yeah.
Let's come to the issue of demonstrations. We've seen a series of it. There was one today. There are more planned for the future. What kind of security risk do these demonstrations pose?
I think that these demonstrations pose a security threat because if you imagine the number of policemen we deploy to shepherd those demonstrations, is huge. We waste a lot of man hours, resources. Resources, let me say resources. Look at the vehicles, you know, the human resources. And I think that, you know, we need to find ways, innovative ways of registering our protests.
What other ways would you prescribe when the people feel they're so frustrated or they have something within them that they want to voice out? How else can they do it?
They can do it through press conferences. Through press conferences, because I don't think that...
Will that carry the same effect as demonstrations?
Now, if you demonstrate, that's why I was asking the other correspondents. We had a demonstration on Dumso. What results did we get?
Well, isn't it putting some kind of pressure on government?
Government has already outlined what it's going to do and it's giving you timelines that by December.
The international media covered it. And that means that other people know about our problems, our frustrations. That would put a lot more pressure on government, wouldn't you say?
Oh, no, I don't think so. Because government has already given the outline. I said, look, between now and December, we are doing this, the budgets, which people are investing in the generation, and we're hoping that by this time, water levels in the rivers will also go up, and then government has already, government cannot do magic now to address the energy crisis. It has already outlined, you know, measures it's taking to address the situation. So even if you demonstrate 1,000,000 times, the situation cannot be eased immediately. You have to still wait for the government program. And I was telling the other, it doesn't look as if, I mean, people think that it is only Ghana which is going through this. I was in South Africa.
Theirs is not as intense as ours.
Theirs is not as intense. How do you know?
I did experience it because I was in South Africa recently as well.
Yes. And the provinces, they also have power curtailments. They have power outages. But the thing is this. For 2 years, I've come from the north. I came from the north yesterday. Even to get drinking water is a problem. For 2 years, we haven't had adequate rains there. The dams are all dry. The dams are all dry. And that's why Akosombo, there's no water in there. Whose fault is it? That's why there is no water in Mui. But we've come a long way. 2006, 2007, we had these problems.
So you think that demonstrations are not the way to go?
Demonstrations, fine, but not on a daily basis. They have become too many. Now I want to believe that our country is a country of demonstrations. I mean, we shouldn't give that impression. I don't think we should. If you go to the advanced countries, they don't demonstrate every day. But you can present a paper to government. You can have a press statement, make a very strong press statement or press conference, present a paper to government. If nothing is done, then you can go on your demonstration.
Let's talk about, I mean, and it's good that you mentioned press statements because we've had quite a number of them being released, particularly this week. But this is not from any political groupings, this is from religious groupings. We have an issue of religious cohesion in our country. Have we been pretending to be living in peace all this while because we seem to have a really big issue that we have not touched on for a very long time?
How can we pretend that we've been living in peace? Otherwise, you would have been a refugee somewhere. I was telling your colleagues that I'm proud to be a Ghanaian. I love Ghana. And we should appreciate our security agencies. If for nothing at all, they have given us peace, stability. That's why people are now free to demonstrate on a daily basis. Without that freedom, they couldn't have been demonstrating. So, our country, Ghana, is a very peaceful country. If you don't want what is happening in Ghana, then maybe we can import what is happening in Nigeria. Should I import that for you?
Is that not where we're getting to? I mean, with what is happening?
We are far away from it.
Really?
Yes.
We had the Catholic Bishops' Conference releasing a press statement yesterday,
yes,
making a strong stance. And then just today, the Office of the Chief Imam has also issued a press statement.
Yeah.
You know, before that we had the Christian Council, then we had the Muslim Students Association. Where are we headed?
Oh, we are heading towards peace. It's good to disagree to agree. Sometimes you disagree to agree, and I'm sure we will get there. Ghanaians are people I think can rise up to any situation through dialogue. I see this thing as a storm in a teacup, and that will find a solution to the problem. That's how I see it.
When I look at it, and especially because I've engaged leadership of these groups, it's very difficult from where I sit to see how we're going to be able to resolve this, because the Catholic Bishop Conference is saying this is what we want to continue to do.
We are going to
either
engage.
you take
We are
it
going to
or
engage,
you leave it.
We are going to engage the Peace Council. Peace Council will engage them. Peace Council will engage all the stakeholders, and I'm sure they'll come out with a solution to the problem.
You know, the interesting thing, they all say we want to engage the Peace Council because we feel dialogue is what will resolve this.
Yeah.
Yet they come out and they issue statements and declare their positions clearly.
That's why when the Peace Council is involved, I'm sure they will emphasize the need for them to de-emphasize the issue of statements, issuance of statements.
So why wasn't government too quick in issuing a statement? Because there was one from the Ministry of Communications, which the Christian Council, the Christian groupings, they were not excited about at all.
Well, but that's why I say that I think it's a storm in a teacup, and we will sort out that problem. We'll have to get all the stakeholders talking, each one of them giving his side of the story, and then maybe compromising, all stakeholders compromising on something. And I think that way we'll move forward.
Are there security implications here?
Of course there are security implications. These things could breach this peace in our country if they are not properly handled. And that is why I think that we can sit around the table and talk it over.
Are you getting involved? Is government getting involved?
Well,
you're
Peace
involved
Council,
already, right?
Pardon?
You're involved already.
Yes, we are involved because it is our responsibility to maintain the peace, law and order. So we cannot exonerate ourselves. We are part of it.
How will this end?
It will end peacefully.
How soon will it end?
I hope very soon.
Thank you very much for your time.
You're welcome.